Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley reveals his prison nickname. Todd Chrisley saw a 12-year jail sentence cut short thanks to a presidential pardon. However, during his time in prison, he was still able to make an impression. During a recent conversation, the Chrisley Knows Best star shared his own prison nickname. Todd Chrisley shared his prison nickname while appearing on his daughter Savannah's podcast. Todd, who became known as the family patriarch on Chrisley Knows Best, found himself convicted of charges including bank fraud and tax evasion back in 2022. He and his wife Julie were sentenced to a combined 19-year sentence. However, Todd and Julie would receive a presidential pardon from Donald Trump this past May. Since then, the two have talked about their time behind bars with fans. Recently, Todd and Julie appeared on her daughter Savannah Chrisley's podcast where they talked about their time in prison. While Todd only spent around 2 years at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, he still made an impression on those he met, including getting his own nickname. As Todd explained, he felt his mind was elsewhere during his time in prison. He shared, "I feel like I did a podcast for 28 months with all the people that were around me. They called me Teflon Todd." Teflon refers to a brand name for a coating product often used in cookware. In other words, Todd felt like he was still a free man in spite of his situation. He continued, "In my head, I was still free. I did not take up residence there. I was in prison. Prison was not in me." As previously reported, Todd has maintained his innocence over the charges that led to his original conviction. On May 30, Todd touched on this when he appeared at a Nashville press conference alongside his daughter Savannah, who had also advocated for her parents during their time in prison. Todd had previously maintained his innocence concerning the charges against him. At the time, Todd shared, "I was convicted of something I did not do. It could be you. It could be any of you. And somewhere in this room, someone has had a family member that has been affected by this system. So I understand the shame that's around it. But I refuse to feed into that because shame is like a cancer that just spreads. And I have no shame." Todd also continued to advocate for prisoners' rights. He shared, "So I will continue to fight for all the guys that I dealt with and that I was blessed to be with at FEC Pensacola. I will continue to expose the injustices that go on there and throughout the Department of and throughout the Bureau of Prisons." In a story that sounds straight out of a soap opera, Todd Chrisley, once known for his flashy lifestyle and quick-witted sarcasm on Chrisley Knows Best, has earned himself a surprising new title behind bars: the Southern General. The nickname, which he recently revealed through a message shared by daughter Savannah on her podcast, has quickly become a buzzworthy moniker among fans and critics alike. But what does it mean to be the Southern General in a federal prison? And how did Todd, the man who once obsessed over monogram towels and immaculate closets, adapt to a life behind steel bars? According to Savannah, who shared the update with a mix of pride and disbelief, her dad isn't just surviving, he's leading. "He's got this nickname now," she said, her voice both amused and amazed. "They call him the Southern General. And it's not because he's bossy. It's because people actually go to him for advice." Todd, never one to shy away from the spotlight even in the most unlikely of places, has become a figure of curious reverence inside the Pensacola federal facility. Known for his sharp tongue and even sharper suits, Todd had every reason to crumble in the chaos of prison life. But instead of fading into the shadows, he did what any reality TV patriarch would do: he took control of his narrative. "Dad started helping people draft letters home," Savannah said. "He proofreads legal filings, teaches etiquette, and even holds these Sunday night life classes where they talk about faith, business, and what it means to take ownership of your mistakes. He's turned it into a mission." According to insider reports, yes, even federal facilities have grapevines. Todd's Southern charm, commanding presence, and unwavering confidence have given him an odd but undeniable authority. Other inmates, many of whom come from vastly different worlds, found his take no prisoners attitude refreshing, ironically, within prison walls. People call him that because he walks the yard like he owns the place, said one anonymous source. But he's not a tyrant. He's more like, well, a Southern preacher mixed with a CEO. He always says, "Bless your heart," before he tells you you're doing hasn't disappeared, but it's been reshaped into something more profound. Todd reportedly keeps a pocket-sized Bible, a legal pad full of quotes, and a stack of self-help books he trades among inmates like his spiritual currency. He's even rumored to be working on a book from behind bars, tentatively titled The General's Guide to Starting Over, which Savannah hinted could be part memoir, part redemption story. He's always had a way of commanding attention, she explained. And now, instead of commanding a mansion, he's leading in a different way. It's humbling, and it's powerful. The nickname, the Southern General, first stuck after Todd helped organize a peaceful discussion circle in the prison chapel. Tensions between different groups have flared, and while most steered clear, Todd, decked out in the standard beige prison garb, but still carrying himself like he was on Bravo, stepped in. He facilitated the conversation with phrases like, "Let's not lose our manners, gentlemen," and "You can't fix stupid, but you can choose peace." It worked. Respect, in this harsh environment, isn't easily earned. But Todd's blend of discipline, humor, and charisma made waves. Soon after, a fellow inmate quipped, "That man ain't from around here. He's like some Southern general trying to run a war with grace." The name caught fire. Now, the Southern General is more than a title, it's a reputation. Todd reportedly has a small group of inmates who jokingly refer to themselves as the regiment. They sit together during meals, help each other study legal documents, and share thoughts about personal growth. What started as a way to cope with time turned into a form of brotherhood that even prison staff have quietly respected. "He's not running the place," one staff member clarified, "but he's earned a level of deference. He's not disruptive, he's constructive." Still, Todd's family isn't oblivious to the irony. Chrisley joked on a recent podcast appearance that, "Leave it to Dad to go from reality TV king to prison general. Duke can't help but be in charge." Fans have responded with mixed reactions. On one hand, some critics roll their eyes, claiming Todd is merely doing what he does best, spinning a narrative. On the other, a surprising number of supporters have applauded the transformation, saying it's proof that even the proudest can be humbled and reformed. As for Todd himself, he reportedly doesn't shy away from the nickname. In a letter sent to his attorney and later paraphrased by Savannah, he wrote, "God has a funny way of putting you exactly where you need to be, even if it's behind barbed wire. If I'm here, I might as well serve with some dignity. And if they're going to call me the general, then I'd better earn my stripes." While his legal journey is far from over, and his appeals are still in motion, Todd's nickname has already etched itself into a new chapter of the Chrisley legacy. One that's as unexpected as it is oddly inspiring. And for a man who once demanded designer labels and meticulously coordinated wardrobes, it's poetic that his new identity in a world of uniform beige is one defined not by his fashion, but by his faith, influence, and determination to lead, even behind bars. Who knows what comes next? One thing's for certain, whether you love him or loathe him, Todd Chrisley never fades quietly into the background. Not in the mansion, not on reality TV, and certainly not in federal prison.